Need to pick a pre-cruise hotel. Well, I have some tips, so let's find out. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom, your host, and this is Cruising with Tom's Day Trips. And this is going out to all my first-time senior cruises, cruises, and anybody that hasn't booked a pre-cruise hotel yet. This is some tips on to make your booking very easy. All right, three things we're going to talk about is location, cost, and amenities, what it has to offer. So the first thing is hopefully you are flying down the day before. That's why you want to book a pre-cruise hotel. Always fly down to the cruise port the day before. Never fly the same day because there's delays that happens. I almost missed one of our flights because the plane broke down. It was an hour delay. It's very stressful. You always want to fly down the day before. Fortunately, it wasn't the day of the cruise that we flew down, so it wasn't all that bad. So that's tip number one, fly down the day before. Now, where are you going to stay? You need a place to stay. So this is going to help you pick your pre-cruise hotel. So the first thing we're going to talk about is location. Where do you want to stay? The distance from the cruise port. How far do you want to stay from the cruise port? I don't recommend staying an hour and a half away. Usually about 20 minutes away from the cruise port. There's plenty of hotels in that, any area that you stay adjacent to the cruise port. So you want to pick an area that is, close. You also want to pick an area that is close to the attractions that you want to see. Me and my wife, we're going to be going to Seattle, Washington in the spring. We're going to do an Alaska cruise. So we want to see like the Space Needle and the museums in that area. So we're going to pick our hotel close to that area. So we don't have to waste time traveling back and forth, trying to get a taxi. It's walking distance. So that's something you want to, take in consideration what it's going to cost you for a taxi to get to your attractions versus, putting that money into getting a hotel close to the attraction, depending on what you want to do. So that's very important. How far do you want to stay from the cruise port, and how far do you want to stay from the attractions? Stay in a very safe location. Don't stay in a sketchy location because it's cheap. Spend a little extra money, spend your time in a very safe location. That's very important. Research all this, and you can research this on the websites, Google it. What we did is hotels, Seattle, Washington by the cruise port. Boom, it brings up everything, and we've been picking and choosing. We actually have 3 we're working on right now, and we haven't decided which one we're going to pick yet. But you have a little bit of time. If you have 6-7 months, take your time, do it right. Pick the hotel that's going to accommodate your needs for that 1 night or 2 nights, depending if you're going to stay a couple nights prior to the cruise. So location is very important. All right, now before we continue, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I want to invite you to do so. It doesn't cost you nothing. At the bottom, there's a subscribe button. Click on it. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And if you're on Facebook, you'll look up my Facebook group called Cruising with Tom's Day Trips. All type of cruises are welcome, depending on, doesn't matter who you cruise with. You're a cruiser, you like to cruise, this would be a good group for you to join. Talk about cruising, post pictures, videos, all that good stuff. So that's Cruising with Tom's Day Trips on Facebook. And I want to thank you in advance. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is cost. How much you want to spend. Are you a budget person? Are you sky's the limit, or you're right in the middle? So figure out how much you want to spend on your hotel, and go from there. If you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, of course, pick a nice safe hotel. Really, in reality, is just a place to sleep before we go on our cruise. But of course, pick one that is close to the attractions that you want to go visit. So that's what I recommend on that. Don't rush into it. If you have time, Take your time, pick it right. Compare hotel to hotel depending on what it has to offer. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about. What does the hotel has to offer you? The amenities. Does it have a pool? Excuse me for a minute. Moscow Mule. Does it have a pool? Does it have a restaurant, bar? The most important thing, does it have a shuttle that's going to pick you up from the airport and bring you to the hotel? Does it have a shuttle to take you from a hotel to the cruise port? Those are things you want to consider, and figuring out the cost and all that stuff. Does it have morning breakfast? Which is definitely a plus for me. If they're going to serve me breakfast and it's complimentary, it's going to save a lot of time, effort, because the most important thing is we want to get on that cruise ship, because that's what we're there for. We're there to cruise. We're not there to walk around, figure out where we want to spend money and time eating breakfast. Eat your breakfast, get on that shuttle, get to that cruise port. That's what we want to do. So that's the number 3, is figure out what this hotel has to offer, and then pick and choose. Take your time, pick it right. And I do recommend calling them up. Don't do a third party. Physically call the hotel and talk to a live person. I'm old-fashioned. I like to talk to a live person instead of booking it on the website. Call them up, talk to a live person, see if you can get any deals, AAA, senior citizen discount, all that good stuff. So be a little frugal when you are booking your pre-cruise hotel. All right. So hopefully this information was helpful, and I do appreciate you tuning in today. And just remember, a cruise ship, just remember, a bad day on a cruise ship is a lot better than a good day at work, any day. And it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, so enjoy yourself. Thank you for watching.